All right, welcome back to another Duskmourn draft. Today we've opened the Fear of Missing Out, and I am a little concerned about missing out on this card because it is really good. 2-mana 2/3. If you, well, you can rummage. If you don't have a card, you just straight up get to draw a card. And if you have Delirium, when it attacks, you can untap a creature and get an additional combat phase. Delirium has been surprisingly easy to get, and I think the red aggressive decks are really good in this format. So pretty easy first pick. There are two cards I'd really like to wheel, actually three. Piggy Bank, aggressive creature, helps enable Delirium. Patchwork Beastie, same thing. And then the Monstrous Emergence. It's a really good removal spell. Probably one of the best versions of this effect we've seen because you can use a card from your hand. So you don't even risk getting 2-for-1 like you do with a traditional bite or fight spell. Second pick, we have a Fear of Abduction, a Withering Torment. There's Midnight Mayhem, which could be good in a red-white aggressive deck, which obviously would work well with FOMO over here. This is an interesting pack. Ideally, I would have liked to take a green card because I think this fits best in red-green Delirium, or a red card, but I don't think any of the red or green cards are good, so we're going to have to get creative here. I don't really want to take a 6-drop. I kind of like the idea of taking this Midnight Mayhem. This card seems pretty good. Making 3 1/1 Menace Lifelink Hastes for 4 mana just seems like good value. If you have additional Gremlins, then you get additional Lifelink Menace and Haste. Okay, third pick here. There's a Violent Urge, which I think is a good combat trick, especially if you're trying to turn on Delirium. Fear of Surveillance is a decent 2-drop, and I do like the Clockwork Percussionist as an aggressive 1-drop. It's between these three cards for me, but I'm not sure which one I want the most. It's somewhat tempting to just take the Percussionist. It's the cheapest card. It's really good at enabling Delirium, and we're going to want to do that aggressively with this Fear of Missing Out. So let's take that. Maybe we'll wheel one of the other two cards we want. Okay, here there's a Scorching Dragonfire, which is obviously very solid. It's also a Ticket Booth, which is fine, I think. You get to manifest on the first half, and then if you spend 6 mana, eventually you can give something Double Strike each turn, which is pretty good. It's also Beastie Beatdown. We could drop the white. It does feel like white is more open than green, though. This card's quite good in the Delirium deck. A fight spell, but then if you have Delirium, you get 2 counters. I could just take the Dragonfire. The good thing about Dragonfire is it's guaranteed to make the deck, whereas either of these might not, depending if we end up in red-green or red-white. Whereas we're always going to play this in our red deck, so I think I'll take the safer pick here. Okay, fifth pick, there's a Pyroclasm, which we don't really want in our style of deck because it's going to hit too many of our own creatures. But there is this Glassworks/Shattered Yard. I do like this card a lot. For 3 mana, you can deal 4, and then later you can spend 5 to upgrade it to Shattered Yard. And then it deals 1 damage to each opponent, which is a good way to close out games with your aggressive deck. And not a lot else. Emerge from the Cocoon, not a card you want in your aggressive deck. That's for the Reanimator deck. Frantic Strength, I think, is a very mediocre combat trick. 3 mana for it. Isn't great, although it does stay around. Okay, pick 6 here. It's kind of a late live or die. I think that card's pretty decent. Don't think we want the Soul Rager. I think I'll take the Unsettling Twins. I think this card's pretty good. 4 mana for 2 bodies, 2 2/2s. That's usually a good formula, and it fits with what we're doing right now. The red-white theme, I believe, is creatures with power 2 or less, which currently is all of our creatures, so we're doing that. Here, not a lot that I want. I don't think Grab the Prize is very good. It's the sort of Tormenting Voice effect. You can occasionally deal 2 damage, but I don't think that really makes it a card I want. And similarly, I don't like the Land Cyclers in a deck where you just want to be curving out and always hitting your 2-drop. So I think I will take this Flesh Burrower and look to potentially play green. If I open a green bomb, I could move into green. I only have 2 good white cards. And now we're getting like 8th pick Beastie Beatdown. So at least green doesn't feel open, but I don't think there's another red-green drafter specifically. So right now, like, our green cards are almost as good as our white cards. That's pretty similar. I'd be happy playing either. If this other Beastie Beatdown wheels, then we're really, really incentivized to play green-red. Because I think it fits a little better the Delirium theme with what we have so far. Okay, 9th pick. Not a lot here. I don't think Soul Rager is very good. A 1/4, and you get to have a 4/4 instead if you've unlocked 2 or more rooms, but I only have 1 room. I just don't think that strategy makes a lot of sense. Jump Scare is mediocre. So is Bear Trap. I guess I'll take the Jump Scare. I don't think any of those cards will ultimately make the deck, though. Alright, 10th pick here. Not a lot for us. I can take this Grab the Prize and probably not play it. Pass those blue and black cards, have someone else take them. Obviously, we want to be in the Naya colors. We did wheel the Violent Urge, which is one of the 2 cards we wanted. I don't recall the other one. Oh, it's the 2-mana 2/2. Fine that someone took that. I like Violent Urge quite a bit. I think it's a good combat trick. It's 1 mana. The things you want in a combat trick are that they're cheap and that they probably guarantee win that combat, and this does. And it has the upside of when you give something Double Strike, you can very quickly kill your opponent with it. Okay, we did not wheel the other Beastie Beatdown. Not that surprising. It would have been very late. I think like pick 12. Opened Waltz of Rage. I don't know if this card is good or not. Target creature you control deals damage to its power to each other creature, and then whenever a creature you control dies until end of turn, you can exile top card of your library and you can play it until the end of your next turn. So kind of a weird board wipe style effect that sort of refunds you for the cards you've lost. I don't know if we want that in an aggressive deck, but what are the other good cards? Turn Inside Out is a surprisingly good combat trick. I think Split Skin Doll is a fine aggressive creature, but I'd rather take a red card because I still don't know if we're going to be green or white as our second color. Should I try out this rare maybe? I just feel like, I don't know, it's more interesting than a boring 1-mana combat trick, right? Let's try it. Let's take the Waltz of Rage. I'm curious. Ghost Vacuum. 1 mana. You can tap it to exile a card from a graveyard. And then for 6 and tap, you can put each creature card exiled with it under your control with a flying counter, but they're 1/1s. That sounds slow and kind of bad. I could be wrong, though. I don't think either of the red cards are very good. The best green card is probably Break Down the Door. I don't think Fear of Immobility is, like, amazing either. There's been some tough picks here in Pack 2. Let's see. I don't know, maybe this card is good. Let's try the Ghost Vacuum. I like just taking rares. Okay, there's a Sheltered by Ghosts, which is quite good, I think. And Wicker Folk Thresher is also decent. Again, not really like premium red cards, so I think I'm going to take Sheltered by Ghosts. Didn't feel like we saw really much green outside of this one Beastie Beatdown, so I think white has a slightly better chance of being open. And I think this card is slightly better than the Thresher. There's another Vicious Clown, which does fit the power 2 or less theme of the red-white deck. There's also Fear of Immobility, which is fine. Sort of a filler, top-end creature. Yeah, I'll take the cheaper creature. It's usually a good heuristic to follow, especially when you're building an aggro deck. Okay, here we have Conductive Machete, which I like. So 4 mana, 4/3, but it leaves behind this piece of equipment. And if you manifest a good creature, you get additional value. Seize from Slumber is a decent removal spell, but I think it's better in a defensive deck because ideally you want to spend 2 mana to kill a tapped creature. Which if you're attacking, a lot of times you need to kill untapped creatures that are going to block. So I think I'll take the Conductive Machete here. put these green cards in the sideboard for now. Because, yeah, we're still seeing, like, pretty much 0 green come around. I like Fear of Surveillance. Fine 2-drop here. I like what we got going on so far. We need more 2-drops for sure, but there's usually good filler 2-drops to pick up late, like this hand that feeds. It's going to be fine here. I don't think Possessed Goat is that good. And I'd rather take a 2-drop over another 3-drop here. Okay. This is a ley line. What's this do? Choose a creature type. And then everything is that type in addition. That seems like it's not meant for draft. As far as cards that are meant for draft, I guess the most playable of these is probably the Razorkin, though I don't think it's very good. Let's start it in the sideboard for now. Hasn't been the greatest pack 2. We've picked up a few interesting cards, but hopefully pack 3 is a little better. We could wheel some stuff too. Okay, we did wheel the Turn Inside Out, so I'm glad I took the rare then, because we ended up getting the card we wanted anyways. I like our combat tricks here, and our removal's decent as well. Just going to want a few more creatures here to fill out the early turns of our curve. Okay, I don't think Untimely Malfunction is very good. I think it's a bit of a card that's like flexible, but never flexible enough to really warrant an inclusion. Vicious Clown is fine. Yeah, if we don't have any other 2-drops, I'll play the Teddy Bear. If we only end up with 3 2-drops, I would definitely play the Teddy Bear as a 4th one. Here, our rare is the land, which kind of disappointing. We also have Surgical Suite, which lets you get a creature with mana value 3 or less back for 2 mana, and then for 4 mana, you get an enchantment that whenever you attack, you put a counter on a creature, which is decent. There's Infernal Phantom, which has a 2/3 that when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power, but it has Eerie, gets +2/+0, which we don't have a ton of enchantments. In fact, I would say we have very few, so I'm not sure that's like at its best in our deck. Maybe I'll take this Surgical Suite. This card seems okay. And if we wield this, I'd be happy to play it as well. Oh, wow. Okay, we get past the Wandering Rescuer. This card seems like a bomb. 5 mana, 3/4, Flash, Convoke, Double Strike. Other tapped creatures you control have hexproof. This card is a blowout. Because it's a mythic rare, it's going to be tough for people to play around it. And you just have a bunch of creatures up. They try to use a removal spell. You can convoke this out. You save your creature. You have a 3/4 Double Strike as well. Can eat something in combat. Like, this seems like the perfect card for our deck. So I'm going to take that and be very happy. There's a number of other good cards. The Scavenger, the Trapped in the Screen, the Betrayer's Bargain. I'd be happy to wheel any of those, but we're always going to take the Wandering Rescuer here. Here, there's a red-white land, another Violent Urge, Attack in the Box. What does this do? When it attacks, you can give it +4/+0, and then you have to sacrifice it. That seems pretty bad. I'm going to take the land. I just want to have good mana. Make sure I can curve out consistently. I don't mind having one tapped land in my aggressive deck, especially if it's untapped a good percentage of the time, given our ability to reduce our opponent's life total. Okay, we have Fear of Burning Alive, which is a card I like. It's a 4/4 that ETBs deals 4 to an opponent, but if you have Delirium, you can also deal that much damage to a creature. So that is quite the blowout. A 4/4 that deals 4 to them and a creature. And I think we're good at enabling Delirium. And I do have to pass this Percussionist, which is a little sad. Maybe it's technically correct to take the 1-drop over the 6-drop, but whatever. I'm going to take the cool guy. Okay, we have a Razorkin Horde Caller. I think this card is very good. 5-mana 4/4 haste, and whenever you attack, it makes a gremlin. Notably, is combo with Midnight Mayhem. And there's nothing else I'm really that interested in here. I think the Haunted Screen is a bit of a meme, but maybe not unplayable. Wouldn't mind Turn Inside Out, but I think I'm going to take this guy. Seems pretty dope as a curve topper here. Okay, there's another hand that feeds, another tap land, Pyroclasm. Given that we have 3 2-drops, I think I'm going to grab the 2-drop over the second tap land here. Okay, another hand that feeds, a Living Phone. Dies, you look at the top 5. Reveal a creature with power 2 or less. Put it into your hand. I feel like that misses more than you like, even in our deck. And you have like 7 hits for it, 8 hits. Yeah, I'm going to take another 2-drop. I'm just going to be happy with more 2-drops. Okay, here I do like Diversion Specialist. It's just a 4/3 menace that you can occasionally get some value from. I think that is a little better than the Fear of Immobility, just for being cheaper and having slightly better stats. Now with 5 2-drops, I don't think I want another one of these. I'm going to take the Specialist. This is 24, so right now I think I would add 8 plains, 8 mountains, and call it a day. Not going to play any of these, I don't think. This deck looks very powerful. I'm excited to play it. Ragged Playmate is having one of these better than one of the hands that feeds. Maybe. Also this Ticket Booth. I'm not that interested in it though. We have better stuff to be doing. I'm going to take this, but for now, starting the sideboard. We did Wheel of Violent Urge. I might play that actually. They never expect the second one. Okay, maybe we have to cut 1 card. I don't think this is a 16 land deck because we have like a 6-drop and a 5-drop and some good mana sinks. Okay, is this Ghost Vacuum actually good? It does cut your opponent off Delirium some percentage of the time, which is pretty interesting. And 1/1 flyers are pretty decent. Oh yeah, they have flying. Okay. I like 3 combat tricks. I like our 2-drops. I like our removal. I could cut this Diversion Specialist. It seems like kind of mediocre. I don't know if Waltz of Rage is actually good. But we have gotten, like, our curve has gotten a little higher. We've gotten a little more controlling. So I think there's a better chance of us being able to take advantage of its effects. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut Diversion Specialist and play like this. All right, on the draw for game 1. This hand is a little slow, but it is powerful because we have the Unsettling Twins and the Rescuer, which are a nice little combo. We have some removal. I'm going to keep it. It does need to draw like a few lands and then a 2-drop as well, which is a big wish list, but so far we've got the 2-drops. Now we just need probably 2 more lands, and we're very happy with this hand. We have a Flesh Burrower, sure. I'm just going to play Hand That Feeds and pass here. Next turn we can play Glassworks. They have a Spine Seeker, that's fine. They grab a Forest. Draw a Turn Inside Out. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Glassworks the Burrower and attack. I could have Convoked out the Wandering Rescuer. That would have been another good option. But I like this trade. I get to Surgical Sweep back my Hand That Feeds. And I can also use Turn Inside Out. And they go for the Moldering Gym this turn. So they can search for a basic, they grab a mountain, draw a 4th land. Alright, I'm going to attack for 1 and just play Unsettling Twins, I think. Oh, that's pretty good. Put that face down. If we draw land, we can flip it face up. 4/4, that will also make a 1/1. Let's see, they go for a Wary Watchdog. They could have unlocked the weight room to get a 5/5, but looks like they want to do 2+4 instead. They're just going to pass. Okay. Interesting. Well, I don't really want to trade this for the Watchdog, so I think I'll just attack with the Twins and the Percussionist. It is annoying it puts them to 14, so this is not going to be able to enter untapped. Alright, well they block, so definitely not getting them down to 13 life. They let the trade happen. They surveil, sure. Okay, I'm going to play this tapped, and I'm just going to hold up my Wandering Rescuer if they try to use a removal spell. Feels like they held mana for a removal spell, and it doesn't really make sense to play a 2-drop and not use your room otherwise. They're going to exile that. This only gives tapped creatures hexproof, so yeah, but this doesn't do anything. I would have manifested Dread instead if I were them. Like, I mean, eventually this will do something, but a 2/2 actually impacts the board, you know? Alright, well, we're not going to get a nasty blowout with this, but 3/4 double strike is still pretty good. Especially because now all our tapped creatures will all have hexproof, so once we attack, everything's just going to have hexproof. I guess it's other, so not completely unbeatable, but still pretty good. Now we have a lot of combat tricks. We're at 2 out of 4 types for Delirium. Flipping this up isn't that good, so I think I'm just going to attack here. They're going to block this. Alright, well I'm going to turn inside out. So I just eat it in one hit. There's a Rip Chain Razorkin. Alright, and then I'll play the Surgical Suite. And get back our Hand That Feeds and pass. Next turn we can do the Hospital Room and hold up Violent Urge, or we can flip the Horde Caller. They have a Balustrade Worm. This is a 5/5 Trample Haste that cannot be countered, and then you can get it back for 4 mana if you have Delirium. Oh, and they have a Betrayer's Bargain. They're going to kill my Wandering Rescuer. That's pretty rude. I can't do a lot about it, so oh well. Alright, we draw Fear of Burning Alive, which is not that useful here, to be honest. So I could level up this room. I could just flip this guy and pass. Or an instant creature and land, so we need something else in the graveyard. Yeah, let's see. I mean, I think I'm just going to pass. I just don't really have... I could attack with the Percussionist, actually. Alright, I'll attack with the Percussionist. If they want to eat it, that's cool. But I want to... If I hit a land, I can Fear of Burning Alive, which is really dope. So I get to deal 4 to them, and then 4 to their creature. Yeah, that was nasty. Okay. That should be pretty hard to beat. I mean, they can bring it back with a Finality counter. That's decent. Now I have this Violent Urge, and I can flip this, attack with this. They do have a 5/5 and a 3/3, but I don't think it's going to be good enough. I don't think it's going to be good enough. Let's flip this guy. Let's attack. Because we have 3 4-power creatures. He can only block 2. We give 1/1/1 double strike and deal 10. We just have to wait for him to block. It's going to double block Hand That Feeds. Okay. Changed his mind, eh? Alright, great game 1. This deck felt amazing. Things lined up perfectly. We'll see how game 2 goes. 3 wins away from Diamond. Alright, this hand looks terrible. I think I will mulligan it. No cheap creatures, can't cast any of the spells, etc. This is mildly better. I think I'll keep it on the draw and hope that draw a red source. I think I'll put back the Percussionist. It's a little low impact, and when you're on mulligan, you need your cards to count. Plus, we can't cast it on turn 1 unless we immediately draw a mountain, which we did, so maybe I should have kept it. I don't know. But we'll see. We still have a pretty good aggressive curve here. This is an interesting decision of which 2-drop to play here, because it makes more sense to start on this because you want to start surveilling, but then we can't do turn 3, use this, and play a 2-drop unless we draw a mountain immediately, which we don't. So I think I will play Hand That Feeds, even though it looks a little strange, because it makes more sense to play this first so you can start surveilling, so you can get your Delirium online. They have an Unwilling Vessel, okay. Draw Wandering Rescuer, not bad. Well, I'm very willing to let this trade happen here. Obviously, they don't want it, so just play my Fear of Surveillance, pass. They might go for the unlock here. I go for main phase Glimmer Burst. Not sure it made sense to main phase. If you want to attack, I guess it does. But they don't attack, so I don't think I would have main phased it if I were them. We draw a Violent Urge. So, kind of an interesting turn. I really just want to play the Wandering Rescuer. So this has Vigilance, so in theory I could attack, but then if they block, I'm priced into either playing this immediately or playing a combat trick, which is a really bad use of 3 mana, so I think I'm just going to pass. I mean, I could attack. At least this would only make a single 1/1. I think I'm going to attack. I also want to surveil, so I can start enabling Delirium, so I can hit lands, etc. And I think if they block, I'm just going to Convoke out my Rescuer main phase. But they don't, so I'm just going to pass. Got a 5th land here. Alright, they are playing a Bottomless Pool to return a creature. In response, I will Convoke out my Wandering Rescuer. I'm taking my creature Hexproof. This is a shame I had to do this right now. I would have liked to try to eat their creature in combat, but if I let this bounce, then I can't play the Wandering Rescuer, so... Alright, they have another one. This is getting kind of out of hand. I need a way to be able to exile this Unwilling Vessel, otherwise it's going to make way too big of a flyer. Take 4 here. Did draw another land. Okay. Definitely playing the land. Let's see. I think I'm going to attack with both here. Let's put that at graveyard. Get our Delirium going. This is a sorcery. So yeah, we can get Delirium next turn, probably. Let's see, if they block, I'm going to play the Machete post-combat. If they don't, I'm going to hold up Rescuer. Alright, they're just going to take 4. So I'm going to say go. And it's a little less good when they know about it, but whatever. Still pretty good. And I have a feeling I might be able to steal this game by using these like double strike tricks, or this with the double strike. So that's sort of my game plan right now. Just trying to get in enough damage that I can finish it off. And they're going to play Tunnel Surveyor. Will trigger their Eerie, give them a lot of blockers. All that is annoying. If if they attack, I will try to surprise block. If they want to get a 4-4, that's fine. We're going to get a 4-4 eventually. Or better if they had more enchantments. And they do have another enchantment, although they're going to get back their Unwilling Vessel, so I see why they wanted to make that trade now. Okay, we draw Sheltered by Ghosts. That is really good here, because we can exile the Spirit, and they're not going to get it back. And we can make this a 4-4 double strike lifelink. Yeah, that seems pretty good. See you later, alligator. Do I want to attack with everything? I think so. Maybe not the hand, because I do want to enable Delirium. This will give me enchantment. Well, I could use one of the tricks to save it. No, I think I'll wait. I'll just attack with this guy. Ghost Vacuum. That helps a lot with Delirium, so I'm going to put it in the graveyard. Alright, well, they didn't block the Wandering Rescuer, so I'm just going to kill them. Wow, Wandering Rescuer with Sheltered by Ghosts on it. Pretty dirty. I think our opponent probably should have jump blocked. That's certainly what I would have done there. Taking 8 is just... seems like a recipe to lose. But it was a tough spot to be in, for sure. Alright, on the play, no 2-drop. I think I'm still going to keep it. I don't love it. Hopefully we just draw a 2-drop next turn. On the draw, this would be even slower. Did draw a 2-mana card. Unfortunately, it's not a 2-drop. But our deck has shown it can go later. It is a pretty powerful deck. They have Grand Entryway, makes a Glimmer. It's fine. So I'm not like... this isn't like a low curve Boros aggro that needs to kill them by turn 4 to have a chance. We can definitely go a little later in this deck. Looks like we're playing against the green-white survival deck. They have a House Cartographer, it's fine. And something for 1 white mana. I don't know the set well enough yet to say for certain what that could be. Alright, the Mayhem doesn't seem that good because they have a 2-2, so I'm just going to try to kill said 2-2 with Glassworks. Alright, they're going to Shard Mage's Rescue it, which is fine. I will attack. Hopefully they try and block. They don't. Okay. So I go. Maybe I should have tried to do that on defense, but it's way riskier on defense into 4 untapped green and white mana, so I didn't feel like that was a good idea. Especially if they do just something like this or level this up. I wouldn't have been able to block anyways, so I would have missed out on the 2 damage. Take 6. We are getting kind of crushed this game, unfortunately. And we're like pretty far from getting Delirium too. Well, I think I need to Sheltered by Ghosts this turn. And exile their House Cartographer. So at least then if it comes back, it won't be a 3-3. I'm going to attack again. Obviously if they block, I'll Violent Urge. And if they don't, that's fine too. But now we're at least racing decently. It might be hard for them to kill this with the ward too. We'll see, we'll see. Take 3. And play Bashful Beastie. Alright, that's fine. I am definitely going to play the Midnight Mayhem this turn. Get my Clown active. Oh yeah, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. That's a lot of damage. They're going to block the Beastie, the Clown. That makes sense. We gain a ton of life, which is nice. I could have used this to save my Clown, but I really did want to get the the Delirium going. Maybe that was a mistake. They're going to attack me. They get a land. Manifest Dread. Sure. And Fear of Surveillance. I have a lot of creatures now. Alright, I'm going to play the Unsettling Twins. I would have liked to draw this, unfortunate. Play lands, they go. Yeah, that would have been an excellent draw. But now we have a bunch of 2/2s to match their 2/2s, and next turn we can Foba, the friendly ghost. Alright, down to 18. At some point we can also unlock the Shattered Yard. Or they have Ghostly Dancer. This card is insanely good. So they don't have an enchantment. So, oh, they do. They have Sharp Mage's Rescue. Okay, that's good. Now they can save their guy too. A little annoying. I'm still gonna do this. Still deals 4 to them, which I like. And I'm actually gonna shoot one of these because I don't want them getting +1/+1 on their ghost. So I'm gonna force them to save something else instead. Yeah, this card's absurd. Don't think we can win, but we'll see. Maybe we can cheese them out with the Violent Urge at some point. It's not looking very likely, though. Yeah, can't block. Down to 9. Draw a mountain. That's not gonna save us. I think. Well, I'll go for the YOLO. See if they mess up and forget to block something, but seems unlikely that we can win. It's possible if we played this one a little better, we would have had a shot, but they had a really good draw, so hats off to them. Okay, on the draw here, but it looks fine, so I will keep it. Potentially a very good curve out. 1, 2, 3. Play this on 4, 5. Our opponent is also on the Clockwork Percussionist. Very nice. Draw FOMO. They have Marvin, Murderous Mimic. 2-mana 2/2. Has all active abilities of creatures you control that don't have the same name as this creature. Very cool. I'm just going to play the... Well, I could just play the FOMO and then rummage something. Yeah, I'll rummage the clown so I can get back with Surgical Suite. That seems pretty good. And I want to be able to hit lands. Okay, nice. Did hit a land. And pass. Next turn we can Surgical Suite back to clown, play our top land. play grab the prize, pitching a friendly Teddy, and pass. Okay. I'm going to play my tap land, play Surgical Suite, get back Vicious Clown, and pass. If they attack, I'm definitely going to involve my Percussionist in some blocking because I want to hit this land drop. So they have a Conductive Machete. No attacks. We draw Glassworks. Okay. Probably going to use that on the 4-3 there. I could attack first. I don't hate that. So if I attack with everything, I'd be fine trading either of these for Marvin. Yeah, they already have Sorcery. Yeah, they already have Delirium, so don't have to worry about that. And let's see. I can use the Violent Urge and then play Fear of Surveillance, or I can play the Glassworks post-combat. Yeah, let's attack with everything. See what they do. No, they just take it. Alright. Then I'll just play the Glassworks. Kill that. It was another Clockwork Percussionist. Okay. Very nice. So I could equip the Machete here. Get in. Hopefully I draw a land. I can play Unsettling Twins, get 2 Clown triggers. They start with Grab the Prize, pitching Mountain. That's fine. And play Irreverent Gremlin. Pretty good. And I'm going to attack for just 2. Okay. Draw a 6-drop. Perfect. That is what I wanted. Okay. Well, given that we have just drawn a 6-drop, what do we want to do here? I think I want to play this pre-combat and then probably use Violent Urge. Let's get in there. Jump and take the damage. Okay. Not to let that happen then. They hit planes. If we just hit 3 lands in our next 3 draws, and actually get to Corval, it would be quite nice. They have a Ragged Playmate. Does let their Marvin use the Ragged Playmate ability. They can also rummage a land, which is good. And there's a Vicious Clown, sure. No attacks, okay. Draw, nice. Drew a land. Love to see it. Okay, I think I'm going to play just the Unsettling Twins and attack with my Clown. Because at least it trades for 2 things. Seems pretty good. We will manifest the Hand That Feeds. Attack for 6. They're going to take it. Okay. Brave, but I respect it. Let's see what they got. They're going to equip instead of the Gremlin. And play another Marvin, which is a legendary, right? So I guess they get to trigger their Clown and Gremlin. And they draw land. Alright. That's a classic example of screw beats flood, because we had spells and they didn't once we drew our lands. Also, our cards just seem like better than their, like our deck just seemed like it had higher card quality. Obviously we didn't see the entire deck, but they didn't really do anything that was that powerful. Okay, on the play, 3 planes, and we do have this Fear of Surveillance, which can surveil. Then we have stuff to do, so I think I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. We have a lot of looks at a red mana, and we don't need one right away. Good start, drawing red card. This artwork looks a lot like Grove of the Burned Willows, or at least that's what it reminds me of. They have a wary watchdog. So I'm definitely going to attack. I imagine they're going to block, and then I'll be able to get back my guy with Surgical Suite. And that is going straight to the graveyard. So only accept mountains as currency around here. As long as you draw a mountain next turn, I'm fine. Otherwise, not as fine. I'm going to draw planes. Always my favorite, but we can do the hospital room at least. So we're still spending our mana each turn. And hopefully we can surveil a mountain at some point. We are 2 types for Delirium, 2 of the harder types. Like if this dies, we'll already have Delirium. And then we'll just draw a mountain and be good. Right, guys? Right? Right? Unless. That was pretty annoying. Maybe they shuffled a mountain to the top of our library. Please. We have another cartographer. We draw another red card. I'm just frustrated. I could probably play out another 2 turns. We looked at like 6 cards though, like come on. No red source, really? Alright, well, it's just one of those days, I think. I'm gonna mulligan this. I'm gonna keep this. The Ghost Vacuum. Let's put that back. Just doesn't feel like it does much with this hand. We don't have ways to fill up our own graveyard. We can't play it on 1 because we need to play this tapped. So we're gonna play turn 2 this, turn 3 Killer Thing. Have the, yeah, I'm gonna keep like this. I could put back, is it really greedy to put back planes? I'm gonna do it anyways, I'm tilted. I like seeing green. That means the Ghost Vacuum has a better chance of doing something. Since green is the Delirium color. It does look like they're on the Delirium deck. This is a 3-2 haste with upside. Jesus. Youch. Alright, here's my hand that feeds. I'll definitely block if I get the chance to. Terramorphic Expanse. They're pretty close to Delirium already. That's land, artifact, creature. But we have the Ghost Vacuum. We have technology. That was ultimately the reason I included this. The effect is slow and maybe not that good, but it does randomly hose the Delirium deck, which I like. Draw 2-drop, very nice. So now we can go hand that feeds and then start Ghost Vacuuming their graveyard. I like the sound effect. They coded like a vacuum sound effect for when this enters. It's pretty sick. Alright, I'm gonna Manifest Dread. Flipping over instants. They're instant sorcery land already. They are really good at Delirium. Alright, hopefully they don't hit creature off this. Surveil. Or enchantment. They hit creature. I guess it was a tough creature to surveil away though, which is why they took a little bit. Because you would want to draw that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna Shattered or Glassworks something. I guess it's gonna be the Wicker Folk. It's the hardest hitting of the creatures. Can't turn off Delirium right now, but we'll be able to if we can get 2 of things out of their graveyard. They're root-wise, haste. Yikes. Yeah, we can't beat that, unfortunately. We're not playing around today. The ladder, that is. People on the ladder. Okay, it turns out the Ghost Vacuum too slow when your opponent has a perfect curve of really good creatures. Doesn't really matter whether or not you can turn off Delirium. Alright, we are dead. Alright, a little unfortunate. I felt this deck was better than 3 and 3, but sometimes the best of one ladder has no interest in you winning any games, so not a lot you can do about it. I would say overall, I don't really regret any of the decisions, except the ones when I decided to not draw red mana, and then when I decided to mulligan. Those were bad. I wouldn't do those if I were you. That'd be my recommendation. Not sure Waltz of Rage is actually good, but didn't ever really get to draw it. Was impressed by Fear of Burning Live. Wandering Rescuer is obviously good. I like the Vicious Clowns. I like that they multi-trigger off like Midnight Mayhem. FOMO's probably good if you ever get to use it. Sheltered by Ghosts is awesome. When I was looking at this set, I was like, I know this card is going to be obnoxious. Even if it's not that good, it's going to be obnoxious, and I think it is really good. These 1-mana red combat tricks are very good. Not sure Ghost Vacuum was good. If these are probably just like decent creatures, I think you probably increase the quality of this deck a little bit, but I wanted to try out the rares. I didn't really get to use them. Anyways, thank you for watching this Duskmourn draft. I almost said Bloomburrow, and I'll see you in the next one.